Hey, it's Mike. I'm back making videos. I've been gone for a little while, but decided with all these vinyl tags going around that I'd come back and make some new ones. Starting off with this vinyl tag, the Rob Walker vinyl tag is what I'm going to do. And then there were some extras that some other people were doing that I'm going to add on to the end just to make it a little bit, just to add a little bit more records, show off a little bit more records from my collection. So it's 2022, and here we go with the 2022 vinyl tag. First question, favorite record you picked up in 2021? There were a lot that I picked up last year that I was pretty happy about, but this one is my favorite band, and this was a really hard record to find, at least an affordable copy of it, 4AD on 4AD Records, Stereolab's Chemical Chords. Love this album. It's one of their last albums that they did. It's got some great songs on it. It's not their best, but really love this album, and I've been wanting to add this to my collection for quite a bit of time because I've had all the others, just not this one. So it was kind of a grail for me. So very happy to have this now. Next one, first band I saw live. This goes back to 1984, 83 or 84, I believe. I saw these Scorpions. I think it was in St. Petersburg, Florida, and the opening band was Bon Jovi, and this was Bon Jovi back when they just started, so Runaway was their big single back then. And Scorpions, it wasn't this album that they toured, that I saw the tour, it was the Love at First Sting, the Rock You Like a Hurricane album. So anyway, that was my first ever concert. Not really the music genre that I listen to now, but back in those days I was a huge heavy metal, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Ozzy, Scorpions, loved all that stuff back in the day. Next one, Show a Duo, Larrita Mitsuko. I love this band. I've loved this band for a very long time. Been collecting their music for a while. Catherine Ringer, I believe is the French pronunciation of her name, and Fred Chuchin, husband and wife duo. He passed away, I believe, from cancer a few years back, so it's just now Catherine that's going around and singing and doing shows in France. Never got a chance to see them here in the States, but I love their music. Some of my favorite songs are on this album. This album's a classic. So Larrita Mitsuko Duo. Record's still in shrink. When they were coming out with the repressings of these a couple years ago or a year ago, I was really afraid that I was ordering from different places, and I was afraid I wasn't gonna get one of these, so I ordered it from 2 different places, this particular one, and got both of them. So I still have one in shrink. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with this one. So that one's in shrink. It's My Bloody Valentine'S, MBV, their latest album that they've released. It's a decent album, what can I say? Concept album is the next one, and this is Candy Claus. It's a little band out of Colorado, and kind of a new shoegaze, I guess, kind of music. Very experimental, very interesting group. Love their music. This is called Ceres and Calypso in the Deep Time, and it's based on a story or a book, and it's about this sea lion and a girl. They go on adventures in the Mesozoic era. It's pretty bizarre. Interesting music, shoegaze, kind of very electronic shoegaze though. Not so much heavy guitar, but more of just a wall of sound with a lot of electronics and experimental stuff. But highly recommend Candy Claus concept album. There you go. Album I haven't gotten around to listen to yet, Space Echo. This is an offshoot or a later incarnation of Dean Garcia from Curve. He does these albums with his daughter, Rose Berlin, and they make really good music. They're very prolific. They've put out so many albums and so many EPs. It's ridiculous. I think the year 2020, they put out like 60 songs, 60 new songs. It's insane. They just churn out music constantly. And this is one of the records I was able to find and ordered it. Anomalies, Space Echo, just haven't gotten around to. There's just so much of their music. I just haven't gotten around to listening to this one yet, but I will. Next one, new discovery from 2021. I was on Facebook, and I belong to a Lush group, the band Lush, the dream pop band Lush, and somebody recommended this singer to everybody and posted her video on Facebook, and I just was hooked immediately. And the singer is Angel Olsen. This is her album All Mirrors. She does kind of a folksy singer-songwriter kind of sound in her earlier stuff, but this album for some reason just stands out as different. It's got a lot more involved arrangements, not as simplistic as her other albums, a lot more involved, almost kind of like Beatlesque a little bit in their psychedelia kind of phase. Very rich, very engaging. Her voice is incredible. Just so much emotion in her voice when she sings. I absolutely love this. This is a 2-record set, and the first 2 sides, the first record, absolutely amazing. All 5 songs, just 10 out of 10. I love the first record on this. The second record is but the first record is just absolutely amazing. Angel Olsen, I listen to this all the time. It's the song Spring was the song that I heard on Facebook, that I saw on Facebook, and Spring is by far the best song on this, and just check it out, Angel Olsen. All Mirrors is the name of the album. Next one, a live album. This is an album I picked up during the pandemic. It's a live session, radio session or something, from Medicine. They're a shoegaze band from the 90s. Very noisy, really good. They've got some good songs on this. Time Baby's really good, Aruka. It's got some good stuff on this. So live Medicine in sessions. So just something I haven't really seen anybody show before, so trying to stay away from showing things that I've seen on other people's videos. Let's see, band from a different continent. I picked Australia, In Excess. This is my favorite album of theirs, the Swing. Side 2 on this album is just back to back to back greatness. I love this album. In Excess, the Swing. Everybody know whose they are, but anyway, people don't really talk about that album though. That album's kind of one of their more obscure ones, and I don't know why. It's fantastic. Let's see, a record with a price sticker on it. Well, I just picked this up. This is my most recent pickup lately, and it's pretty beat up. I love this album. It's been something that I've been looking for a while and couldn't find an affordable copy, so I went out and found an affordable copy. It's pretty beat up on the outside, but the record itself plays really nice. Cheap Trick in color. It's got one of my all-time favorite songs on it, I Want You to Want Me, and it's got the little price sticker. I paid $7. Actually, I had credit at the store, so I only paid $6 for this. Well worth it. I don't care if it's beat up. It's a classic. It's an old album. It plays great. That's really all that counts. Punk or new wave album. Pretty much anything that I could close my eyes and just grab any record out of my collection, and chances are it's going to be punk or new wave. But that being said, this is one that I've been looking for quite a while, and finally got the new repressing of this that's just been released just in the past few months, I guess. I think September, October. I think they re-released this. But Rock for Light, Bad Brains, one of the greatest punk albums ever made. Love this. So, Bad Brains. Let's see, a show a box set. Well, I've got a few, but I think I've already showed a lot of them in my past videos, so I'm gonna show this one that I haven't shown yet. This is a band called Redhead. They are a, I don't know, post-punk, shoegazy kind of, just a great rock band. Let's see, this box set includes their first 2 albums, which are some of their greatest albums. The first one, self-titled, Blonde Redhead, and then the second one, La Mia Vida Violenta, or whatever. Their first full-length album. This one's kind of like an EP, and this is their first full-length album. Fantastic. I love this album. These come with a second disc of rare outtakes and B-sides and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to have those. They're double records, I guess. They're gatefold kind of deals. They've re-released these recently as just the regular single records rather than the box set, and they don't come with all the extras, so I'm glad I was able to pick these up. The box also comes with this really nice photo book. It goes into all the history about the first two albums and them being in New York City and what life was like when they were recording back then, and pictures of flyers and stuff from their shows and everything in the early days. So really interesting read. So Blonde Redhead, that's called Masculine Feminine is the name of this compilation of their first two records. So check that out. Love them. Everything's slipping and falling over here. The next one, a sporting record with a sporting theme. Skating, I believe, is a sport, and this is a skate punk band, Code of Honor, out of San Francisco, and there's their skateboards. So skating, sporting. Next one, a jazz album. I don't listen to jazz. I don't like jazz, quite frankly. It's not my thing. Wasn't raised on it. Just don't really care for it. But ironically, my favorite band, Stereolab, does a lot of, not a lot, but quite a few songs of theirs have kind of a jazz kind of influence. So I chose this one, Cobra and Phases. Group play Voltage in the Milky Night, which is where I get the name for my channel from. Song on here called The Free Design is just about as jazz influence as you could possibly get in their music. So I'll put that up as an example of jazz, but I don't really listen to jazz music. That's not one of my favorite songs of theirs. But it's jazzy, so it counts, I guess. Best of album. I chose Lush, Chow, the best of. It says it right on the album cover, best of, so I think this counts. Nice little double album, best of collection of their music for all going through all four of their main releases. Good stuff. Lush, love them. Next one, let's see, album showing more than 8 people. Wasn't really easy for me to find, but I did actually find one. Circle Jerks, Wild in the Streets. There's, I don't know, about a dozen or so people on the front there, so that counts. Great album. This is a really nice pickup. It was on the back wall at our local Zia Records here as one of those hard to find, premium priced kind of records, and I was really happy to be able to pick this one up because it's classic. Love it. Soundtrack. I love this album. This is one of my favorite Prince albums. Parade. It's the music for the movie that he did, the black and white movie called Under a Cherry Moon. That's it. I have it on DVD right there. I love this album. I could have picked Purple Rain too. That was also a soundtrack, but I chose this one because not many people talk about Parade, but it's a fantastic album. The movie, it's campy, it's goofy, it's silly, but I enjoy it. I don't know, it's Prince. Let's see, next one, VCLT. I've never received VCLT from anybody, so I'm a new channel. I've got a few subscribers, and I love my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, but I've never received VCLT, and so I figured I would just show at least a couple of gifts that I got from my girlfriend this past Christmas. I got the latest New Order album, Music Complete, white vinyl, really nice. We were shopping together, and I picked this one. I was like, ooh, I'd like that, and it was like a really good price too. And then one record that I've been looking for a while, also New Order, Republic. I love this album. She picked this up for me, so those are my 2 VCLTs from her. Next one, album with no writing on the cover. Sleigh Bells, Reign of Terror. Love this album. Just saw them in concert a little while ago. My first concert after all the lockdowns and everything, and they started playing shows again, and got to see Sleigh Bells, and then all the other bands that I had bought tickets for, they've all canceled again. But I did get a chance to go out and see Sleigh Bells, and they're freaking awesome, and this is by far their best album, I think. Reign of Terror. So I love them. Next one. 7-inch single. Again, Prince, Let's Go Crazy. I bought this way back when it came out and still hung on to it. It's got Erotic City as the B-side. Fantastic Prince song. Yeah, Prince. Love Prince. Let's see, next one. Colored vinyl. This is another duo. These two ladies out of Greece do electronic music. If you like Depeche Mode, they're like huge into Depeche Mode. They did a whole album covering Depeche Mode's A Broken Frame album. They're really great, and this is one of their better, more recent records that they've done as well. And I chose this just because the colored vinyl was just kind of different. Just that's something I hadn't really seen before, so it's kind of a clear vinyl with these kind of choppy paint dabs, I guess. It's a 2-record thing, and they both have the same kind of thing, but I'll just show you one of them. Next one, an album. This is the last one on Rob's list, an album from 1982. God, I picked out like 10 of them, but I just decided to choose, instead of showing 10 of them, I just showed this one. It's just an album that I don't really see anybody show, and it's Berlin's Pleasure Victim, a classic new wave album. Finally found this at a good price at our local In Groove in Scottsdale record store. They always have a lot of really good stuff used there in good shape. So this one, Pleasure Victim, Berlin, 1982. And then, so that's the end of Rob's list. And then I want to go and just really quickly go through some of the extras, the bonus questions that people have been, I think the Music Man and some other people have answered some of these questions from other lists. So the last record I bought in 2021, I got this for myself for Christmas, Air's Talkie Walkie. Finally found a reasonably priced copy of this, and I love this album. So French electronic band, Air, awesome. Record I spent the most on in 2021, there were 2 runners up, and I'm not sure exactly what I spent. I try to block it out of my mind, but they were pretty pricey. Susie and the Banshees, Once Upon a Time, the singles, had to have it. It's got so many songs on this that I can't find on their regular studio records, like Love and a Void and Israel and stuff like that. So this was a must-have, and it's on like clear vinyl, and it's got a poster and all kinds of cool stuff. Had to order it from London because they don't sell it here in the States. So I had to find somebody who was selling it in London. But anyway, that's one of them. And then the other one is Cocteau Twins, Milk and Kisses, double. It's a RSD release from years back before I started collecting records again, so I didn't get this. And it's on it's double record on white vinyl. Really nice. Really great album. Some of the Cocteau Twins fans don't really care for their later stuff, but I love this album. And it's got a lot of some of the B-sides and stuff from their singles too included on this, so extra awesome. Cocteau Twins, Milk and Kisses. Not cheap. Cheap album. I would go back and show, sorry, excuse me for leaning, but the one I already showed, $6 for Cheap Tricks in color. That's the cheapest I've spent on any record in a while, and totally worth it because I love this album. Let's see, most out of comfort zone record. I should have just skipped that one because I don't really, everything that I buy is all killer, no filler. None of it's out of my comfort zone. It's all stuff that I absolutely love that I own. So I don't really have anything to show for that. Album from my youth. Interesting story. I sold a lot of my records from back in the day, back in the 80s, and just assumed they were all gone. So I've been trying to go and fill those holes again and buying all these old 80s albums. New wave, mostly punk stuff that I sold back in the day. And my friend went to go visit his parents back in Florida where we grew up, and he found a box of records, and he's like, these aren't my records, and he sent me a picture, and it turns out he had a bunch of my records. We used to be roommates at one time, and I guess I left them with him. And so I got all these records back, and so I didn't have to go hunt these down, and they're all originals from back in the day. And so I'm just showing one of them, Tears for Fears, The Hurting. This is the original artwork from the record back in the day, and it's got so many great songs on it. I love this album, and it's just so nice, and it's like like from a time machine. It's in such great condition because it hasn't been touched. It's been sitting in a box since the 80s, 90s, and so fantastic. I got a whole bunch of, I'll do another video where I'll show what was in that box because it was a whole bunch of 80s stuff that I thought was lost for forever. So it's back. Tears for Fears, The Hurting. Great album. Next one, a band that I bypassed, that I bypassed earlier, I guess, but now I really like them. This is a band that would always show up as suggestions when I would buy stuff, when I would download music. They would say, hey, if you like this band, maybe you'll like this. And the band was Autolux. And I was like, I listened to it, I guess. I listened to sampled maybe one or two songs. I was like, you know, whatever, it sounds okay, but didn't really blow me away. And then for whatever reason, I, just in the past couple years, or just last year, I went and listened to them again, and I was just blown away. This album, Future Perfect is the name of the album. It's freaking awesome. It's so great, and I just went on I went through a phase where I was just listening to this album like nonstop. So Autolux, Future Perfect, love this album. They have 3 records, but this one is by far the best, Future Perfect. Let's see. Show a record. Oh, show a non-record. Okay, so people are like showing CDs or cassettes, I guess. I'll show like a combo box set, CD set, Susie and the Banshees, Downside Up. This is like a collection of all their B-sides, rarities and B-sides. It's a really cool little set. This comes out and then it folds out into kind of this book thing. And it's got 4 CDs, and then there's the track listing, and then it comes with this book with a listing of like all the lyrics, and then little blurbs about the songs, each individual song that's found on this collection. So pretty nice little CD box set, Susie and the Banshees, Downside Up. I don't know how hard it is to find or easy it is to find. I don't know. I haven't looked for it, but I don't know. Maybe it's rare. Who knows? Next one, record from a family member. When I moved away to college, I boxed up a bunch of my records and went away. And I think I inadvertently stole one of my brother's records. And I've had it ever since. And I'm still keeping it in safekeeping for him. But he says, go on and keep it. Rush's Hemisphere is one of their best albums, in my opinion. It belongs to my brother, but I've got it in my collection. He didn't give it to me. It wasn't a gift. It was, I stole it, apparently. And then show a cover with a spaceship on it. Leica, the electronic band out of England. Obviously, Leica's the Russian space dog, and here's some spaceships off in the background. I think pretty much 3 of their 4 releases all feature spaceships on the cover, but I decided to show this one. They're fantastic. If you haven't heard Leica, check them out if you can find them. They're awesome. Really, really fantastic music. Show a round record in a square cover. I don't have anything like that, so I skipped that one. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching my video. It's great to be back, and I'm going to start making them now on a weekly basis, I think. Let's see. We'll see if that happens. But I really appreciate those who have subscribed. Please like the video if you could. That would be awesome, and it's good to be back. So cheers. Happy 2022.